Hello Craniacs, Friday Faux Pas time again. Confession time once more. This will be my third confession now. I'm not a bad operator, honestly, but we do make mistakes, don't we? We're only human. Now I'll repeat what I said in the previous ones, the previous confessions. It's all about integrity. It's all about honesty, isn't it? It's all about taking responsibility for our actions to help ourselves, be better, and also to help other people to be better in what they're doing. So I'm going to let you know something I did. So this is about complacency. Complacency with a little bit of cockiness. I wouldn't say cockiness actually. Maybe overconfidence is the word. So when I was learning to operate cranes, I did an apprenticeship. So we had to spend our time in Bircham Newton, which is a construction college up in Norfolk. So I did. What did I do? I think I did 2 weeks on the towers, 2 weeks on the crawlers. So I was getting pretty good at it. You know, I was getting a lot of good feedback from my. It was the mentor, I suppose it was, yeah, in our company, who's now the senior resource manager, and I was getting good feedback from the instructors there, to the point where they was calling me smarty pants and all that sort of stuff, you know. And I was good. I knew I was good. I mean, I've been a machine driver all my working life, really. I've always driven machines as a ground worker, and before that as a forklift driver. And I was always good at driving machines, you know. So this wasn't any different. So I was getting to the latter part of my towers course. I was getting a bit, you know, it's full of beans, getting a bit big from boot. So I was on this saddle jib. And bearing in mind, this was this Bircham Newton, so it's basically an old air base, really. So they've got old air hangars there, which they use for their training. So this crane was situated next to a hangar, which was used I think inside they used it for IPAF training and stuff like that. So I was right next to the hangar. So we used these concrete blocks for our training. They weighed about a ton. Similar to a Kelly block, I suppose. So there, beside the hangar, there was this rack of, I can't remember what was in them now, but a long rack of something or other. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 meters tall, maybe 8 meters long, I suppose. But it was parallel to the building, and it was about 2 meters away from the building. So it was a 2 meter pathway, roughly, give or take. So one of the tasks we had to do was we had to slew towards the building. The crane was sort of one end of the rack, and we had to slew round the far end of the rack towards the building, as close as we could to the building, and then bring the loads down the pathway towards us. Now, was it a trolley or was it a luffer? I'm pretty sure it was a saddle. Yeah. So I was, you know, I was getting a little bit complacent. I was getting a little bit overconfident. So when I was slewing round, rather than just going nice and easy, nice and gently towards the building, tapping it over to be able to bring the load towards me after, I thought I'd try and catch the swing in one. If those of you who are not crane operators don't know about catching the swing, I've got an article about that if you look at my website. I'll put it in the description actually, how to catch a crane swing. But basically you stop, and then the load carries on going, and then you get your jib back on top of it to get it plumb to kill the swing, yeah? So I thought I would go in one speed, rather than tapping it over gently, stop it, let it swing out, and then get on top of it right next to the building. I've been doing this a few times, not near the building, but it didn't work out this time. I went over, I stopped, the block carried on going a bit too far, smacked into the warehouse, or the unit, the hangar, sorry, and put a hole in it. It was like corrugated, you can imagine an old RAF airbase. It was like corrugated iron, like you know, going upwards, sheets of corrugated iron. And I was thinking, oh no, I was shitting myself, thinking, oh, what have I done here? No, I made a right tip myself, I'm going to get bollocked in, blah blah blah. But afterwards, we spoke about it, and I was like to the instructor, like, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean, didn't mean to do that. And they just laughed. They just took the piss out of me and said, look, as I looked up, there was loads of holes in there. So it happened loads of times. It's just one of those things. And this was the thing: it was a controlled environment. And they said, look, this is a controlled environment. We allow for these things to happen. Obviously, out on site in the real world, this will be different. If I'd done this and smashed into, like a 10 grand bloody piece of cladding or a big glass panel or something, it'll be a whole nother story. But this was alright. It was a controlled environment and I got away with it. But it was a lesson not to get too complacent and not to get overconfident, because it's just not a good idea with these machines. They catch you out. Sometimes they don't operate the way you want to. Sometimes you can overcompensate for things. Sometimes you can undercompensate. There's all sorts of conditions that come into play. Sometimes you can just be a dick and not drive properly. So there you go. That's my confession. Don't get too complacent. Don't get overconfident in whatever line of work you're in. Yeah, but I'm sure you don't anyway. And as per usual, why don't you get involved? Tell us your mistakes that you've made in the past, your fuck ups. Be honest with me. Have a bit of integrity. Yeah, take responsibility for your actions. Let us know. Let us know in the comments. Whatever you're doing out there, I'm proud of you. Take it easy. Laters.